Ladies and gentlemen, this is Under Review, the most controversial show in the Major Arena Soccer League. My name is Phil Levanco. That's the head of officials for the MASL, Ryan Sigich. We take the most controversial plays from the weekend, and Ryan gives his opinion. Ryan, we've got a pretty controversial one this week, so we're going to disarm everyone with our dogs in the background.
Yeah, where's Chester? He's sleeping back there?
He's sleeping. He's trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, well, I got my 47-pound Australian Shepherd lapdog here.
Chester is barely 30. Ryan, the big play from last weekend, Tacoma, Kansas City, Zach Reget thinks he scored the game-tying goal only for it to be waved off on review. Now, I said my piece on MSL Monday. I want more camera angles to help referees make decisions, and I think we need a VR official dedicated for replays. Ryan, what's your take?
Yeah, you did say your piece. I mean, and a lot to talk about here. I mean, look at, do I think the ball makes contact with Reget's hand and then goes straight to his left foot and he scores? Yes, I do. He moves his arm toward the ball, so this would make it a clear attack or handball. I think Reget knows it's a handball, so I don't understand why the Rob post had to happen. But, and the big but here is this was not called during live play. The referees then had no video angles which show this indisputable video evidence to overturn the call. Now, that's a subjective term, indisputable. However, the rule says if the video evidence is unclear, it does not show the incident in a definitive manner. The original call, which was handball, will not change. I think in this case, the referees thought in their mind that they saw indisputable video evidence, but it wasn't, in my opinion, and this goal should have counted.
And that's a big part of the play because the referee was looking right at the play. Let's stay in the same game here, Ryan. Chad Vandergriff gets a blue card and a major 5-minute penalty for this tackle. In my opinion, a correct decision. Now, Ryan, what would you say to anyone out there who says this is a red card?
Well, they would have a valid argument, I think. However, I don't believe the amount of force meets that threshold, as well as the point of contact is lower versus higher there. As well, I mean, we're talking about soft-soled bottom shoes versus cleats, so that's what I would say to that. But it is very late. It's hard, reckless challenge. It completely misses the ball, and a relatively high level of force, but doesn't meet serious foul play, in my opinion. I'm not sure what led up to this one, but this is an example of a major 7-minute penalty, 2 minutes of which is a power play, and I think the referees did this one well.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to go in for the tackle and missed.
Yeah, he completely missed.
All right, Ryan, now for one that was called a red card. Taylor Walter Bond is sent off for this tackle on Brian Orozco in the Empire San Diego game. Now, this one, I agree. This is a red card. We've got red missed. We've got a dangerous challenge. It's reckless. It could cause injury. So I like the red here as opposed to the yellow on Vandergriff.
Yeah, you're right. Not a good situation here. And actually, Phil, it's more than reckless. It's excessive force. So, I mean, Bond just chases them down from a distance with high speed, and the ball's already played away. It's from behind, high level of force. It meets all those characteristics that we look for of excessive force, and endangers, the safety of the goalkeeper there. Referees correctly issue a red card.
Okay, let's stay Empire San Diego. We've got a double blue card on this play. I agree with the decision. It's pretty straightforward here. A reckless push in the back. Second man coming in from San Diego. Bingo, bango, double blue card.
Yeah, really hard from behind, which is a blue card power play. And then, Mitchell takes exception. He comes in, retaliates. But, I want to point out the teams do a really good job of staying on their benches because, I mean, that's when things can get crazy. So they let the referee sort it out, and we have a 2-minute power play on both players, a 2-minute penalty on both players, and it's restarted 4v4. No power play since it's even. This was handled appropriately.
Let's talk about our friend Orozco for a second here. We've got a goalkeeper handball on the Empire goalie. Now, a similar situation to the play we had on last week's show, Ryan. This one, however, called a blue card. So why is this a blue? And Andrew Coughlin's from last week just ruled a common foul.
Well, I'm not sure, at least in my mind. People can disagree with me, but I think they're different. The difference is that Andrew had possession of the ball and then he fell on it. In this case, the attacking team had possession of the ball, and Orozco's arm stops the ball from continuing forward when there's an empty net. So not the same in my mind. I think an opposite example of the one in Kansas City where we talked about video review evidence, because the goalkeeper handballs called during live play, as the referees, as I said, believe that Orozco had his extended right arm, which would have not been in a justifiable position, stops the attacking play. But I'm not sure that it was. I think the ball may have contacted his chest rather than his arm. So I'm not clear on this call that was made, but there is no video angle which definitively can confirm or deny this. So therefore, the original call in the field of handball must be upheld by Rule 12.12.d. This is correctly given as a shootout. The only situation where a goalkeeper handball is not a shootout is in a scenario where the goalkeeper handles the ball first inside the penalty area and his momentum carries him out. So this by rule is a shootout.
We've got too many men on the field for the Empire Strykers. Ryan, you don't see all the players on these replays, so the decision had to be made on the field by the officials.
Well, it's an interesting, unusual play here because we have the Empire goalkeeper had previously released the ball by foot. So a goalkeeper cannot touch the ball again in their defensive half, which is what happens here when Robert comes onto the field and then he touches the ball again. So it's a violation. And San Diego is attempting to play quickly on this, which really isn't relevant because Empire now has two goalkeepers on the field, which you can't have. So correct one here for too many men.
Let's end with my least favorite play for this show. The old game did the ball cross the goal line. First, I want to give Empire credit. We've got a camera on the goal line to help officials. And I stress this isn't a perfect solution because the ball is a sphere. But this is what we have, and kudos to Empire for putting a camera on the goal line. For me, the ball doesn't cross the line. We've got a no goal.
Yeah, it's very, very, very close. I'm not sure one can get any closer than this, but it's actually definitive to me that the whole of the ball did not fully cross over the goal line.
That's it for this week's episode of Under Review. Ryan, do you think the dogs helped everyone keep the phone calls away?
No.
Come on. How can you get
Nash
mad at
doesn't
this
like
face?
to be on camera either.
How can you get mad at this face?